What does being super empowered mean to you, and how does that connect with entrepreneurial activism?
So where do I begin? I mean, I suppose when I speak about empowerment, it's really about healing. And after 2 years of focusing very heavily on my own healing, which I would also describe as personal growth, I actually think personal growth and healing are the same thing. I would say that that's where empowerment really lies. I think it's really about stepping into our true selves, which also means stepping into what I call our ideal selves. And it's about understanding what we want to experience in this life, how we want to grow in this life, and ultimately how we want to contribute. And I think the contribution aspect of that is super powerful. I think that real empowerment really comes from believing in something powerful outside of ourselves. It's about wanting to step into our ideal selves by also being of service to others. I think that there are a lot of crises in the world right now. And I don't mean that in a doom and gloom sense. I just mean that there is so much potential for contribution. Whether it's environmental issues, whether it's social injustice. I really want to work with people who want to contribute to the world in being of service to others and also being of service to social environmental problems, or the solutions to social environmental problems.
And you also talk about how activism doesn't just have to have that definition of like activists for a specific cause, although it can, and that's what you want to help other people with. But you have a broader definition of activism.
Yeah, so the existing definition of activism is really all about campaigning for social and political change. And while I wouldn't change that definition at all, I think that's definitely what activism is. I think it's also time in the context of today to include our behavior in that, to include actually being active and taking action in what activism is. I think it's so easy for so many people to ignore problems with themselves, problems outside of themselves. And ultimately, this leads to disillusionment, it leads to disconnection. And I think that for me is really what healing means as well. It's about becoming active, it's about taking action. It's about stopping that complacency, that kind of ignoring everything that's happening, and really going, wow, okay, there are problems and I'm going to find solutions to them. So for me, activism is not only about campaigning for social and political change, it's also about becoming active. It's about bringing activism home to how we act, to changing our behavior, to transforming ourselves, to using or harnessing the power of social media as well, where we are all campaigning ultimately. You know, even when you run ads on social media, they're even called campaigns. So